So Andy, new contracts for two of our up-and-coming players,
Yep.
Connor Taylor and Dimaggio Wright-Phillips.
Yep.
Let's just talk about Connor first and foremost.
Okay.
How impressed have you been with him?
Yeah, we're delighted with Connor. I think a lot of credit goes to Connor himself for what he's done. I think he's been supported really well in all the steps along the way. I think when you look at his journey, that obviously the guys picked him up here from essentially non-league and brought him back into professional setup. I think right then it showed that he had a bit about him to be able to take that opportunity with ourselves, with the likes of Garrett Owen, obviously, Richard Walker, Dave Hibbert, Kev Russell, obviously working hard with him. He impressed us, in the end of the lockdown season. He'd been training with the group and obviously played in the Coventry game and did pretty well. And I think that probably caught the eye of a lot of clubs to then take him out on loan. And he excelled massively when he was out on loan last season. So yeah, credit to him.
Spent last season with Bristol Rovers. I mean, it was a breakout season for him, really. When he went there, did you think he was ready for first team football? Because he went on to play 40 odd times for them.
Yeah, no, look, I think we'd be lying if we said absolutely yes. I think you certainly hope so. He's a very talented lad. I think what we knew about him, because he'd been around the first team a lot, he'd been training and he'd travelled to a couple of away games with us. We seen his personality and he was very comfortable in the group, with the staff and, the little things around that. And, sort of even I remember, him having to sing and, all that sort of stuff and making teas and all. And he was able to take a bit of stick and give a little bit back. So you weren't worried that he was going to go and settle into a first team environment. He seemed comfortable with that. I think what you need is probably a manager or a coaching staff to believe in you, which Joey Barton certainly did. So I think Bristol Rovers deserve credit for their part that they played in it last year. And obviously, as I say, the academy staff are hopefully helping them, equipping them to be able to deal with that. But they can only give you the opportunity, and Connor has taken it with both hands and I think excelled gradually through the season. Really, he didn't start in the team in the first couple of games, worked his way into the team, and probably his performances got better and better, along with Bristol Rovers ones, really, towards the end of the season where they nicked promotion. So yeah, I think the loan is a perfect example to our younger players of what a success can be, and hopefully sort of sets a pathway for a few more this year.
What would be the plan for him now in terms of first team football? Will it be here, or might you look to get him out on loan again?
I think we'd like it to be here. I think the first and foremost, the idea of signing a new contract is that it will be here. But I think we have to assess that realistically along the way. There's a balance with players as they're on an upward trajectory, that they keep playing and keep playing games. So once that opportunity is there, it will be here. If we do feel that at some point he needs to go to a next step or whatever it may be. Obviously Bristol Rovers last season were League 2, so maybe I know there's quite a few would take Connor on loan in League 1. So I think we're assessing that in pre-season, and at the minute we're really impressed with how he's doing, how he's coping, how he's handling things. But whether you're Connor Taylor or Phil Jagielka, every day you got to impress the manager to try and get in the team on the Saturday. So he's probably the same opportunity as everybody else.
As for Dimaggio and his new deal, it only seems like 5 minutes since he signed a new contract, but he's clearly being rewarded for the progress that he's making.
Yeah, I think he's another good example of the current situation we have here, that Dimaggio came in was essentially told by Man City that he wasn't going to come through there. We took him in on what was probably a bit of a more short-term, lower-cost contract. He had to prove himself on. He worked really hard on that. We improved that, which was kind of his next step, but certainly wasn't a first-team contract, and is now moving on to a first-team contract or towards one, certainly. So, yeah, I think we have a plan for the players that is not just with Dimaggio or with Connor, with all of them at that age group, that we don't give them too much too soon, but also we reward them as they hit their steps. And certainly Dimaggio has done that, and again this pre-season impressed us once again. And it's been in the off and kind of in the plans all summer. It's just probably getting around to actually getting him to sign it. So again, you know, a great lad, great character, has sort of had a little bit of adversity that he's shown good character to bounce back from. So yeah, really delighted.
And seems to have established himself as a bit of a fixture on the first team scene in a relatively short space of time.
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's infectious as a person, and I think how he plays the game, probably that comes across. You know, he's very enthusiastic and wants to learn, wants to get better, and is something that we don't have, you know, in terms of you know, or not, don't have many of that. Probably one that is quite flexible, can play a couple of different positions, and can partner a lot of players in the side. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to just play one position. So yeah, quite impressed with him.